It's no secret that this generation has been a massive success for Sony, the PlayStation 4, and now very notably the PlayStation Network. We have some insane statistics of how well the PlayStation Network is doing in terms of digital sales and revenue. In fact, in a new post put out by industry analyst Daniel Ahmed, he went into depth on how Sony's game and network services are doing better and making more money than the entirety of Nintendo and Xbox. We're talking just digital revenue, which is pretty insane when you think about it. So I'll be talking about that. Also, there's been a lot of talk about Anthem. The free public demo was available, and a lot of you guys have been playing that. However, how about if Anthem was actually free to play as an entire game? Well, in the early development phase, that was actually discussed. I want to take a look at what Anthem's director and lead producer said about that. Also, EA has trademarked a very interesting RPG. Could we see it make a comeback? We'll talk about that. And speaking of interesting RPGs, the latest game from Obsidian Entertainment in the Outer Worlds looks awesome, and it probably will be the last Obsidian title that'll be dropping on PlayStation 4 as well, because they are getting acquired by Microsoft, and I want to go over some new information about that game because that's shaping up very nicely. More on that at the end of this video. First, again, it's no secret that the PlayStation 4 is killing it in terms of sales and revenue. Going into this generation, there were so many people saying the PlayStation 4 is not going to make a dent in the market. This is the last generation of consoles. I can go on and on and on. There was a lot of talk on whether or not the PS4 was going to be a success. Well, right off the bat, you could see that the PlayStation 4 was going places, and at this point, based on all of the sales that we've seen from the consoles surpassing 90 million units sold and now quickly approaching 100 million units, which only the really successful platforms reach 100 million, and the PlayStation 4 should breeze through that. And bear in mind, it's only been a little over 5 years since it's been released. It's already outpaced the PlayStation 3. Game sales have been tremendous. PlayStation as a brand is just killing it from all accounts, but here's an insane statistic. PlayStation Network, the digital service alone, so we're talking digital sales, PlayStation Plus, network services, all that kind of stuff. In 2018, just from the network services, it's higher than Nintendo and Microsoft's total revenue combined when you look at their digital revenue and physical revenue. That is an incredible statistic. Total network services revenue in 2018 was 1373 billion yen, which is around $12.5 billion. That is just an astronomically high number, and it goes to show how well PlayStation Network is doing. And again, we're just talking about PlayStation Network and digital services. When you add in physical games, console sales, their revenue is insanely high right now, and that's not a detriment to Nintendo and Xbox. It's not really putting them down, because if you look at Xbox One sales, yes, the Xbox One is lagging behind the PlayStation 4 by quite a bit, but the Xbox One is doing relatively great in its own right, and Nintendo has been killing it with the Nintendo Switch. It's just that PlayStation 4 has been the platform to go to. When you look at the exclusive game offerings, when you look at everything the console can do, is it a perfect console? No. I wish there was backwards compatibility. I wish PlayStation Now offered downloads on the PlayStation 3 games. You know I'd be subscribed to that year-round if that was the case. I think a lot of other gamers would be too. But you cannot deny the fact that it has been an incredibly compelling platform for the last 5 years. And of course, with the PlayStation 4 Pro extending that life cycle, it's been a fantastic generation for Sony in all accounts, and now the anticipation is really growing heading into the PlayStation 5. Sony is at a peak, and I think at this point they've really realized that even though they're ahead by so much, they can't rest on their laurels. They can't release an overpriced console. They need to be a little bit consumer friendly. There was a little bit of worry when there were things like crossplay being denied by Sony, but it seems like they are completely on board with consumer interest, because Microsoft is on board, and that's what's great. All of this competition is just making it better for us, the consumers. PlayStation Network is becoming better as a platform, Xbox is getting better as a platform, and Nintendo is as well. And I just talked a little bit about PlayStation Now, how it's not a perfect service. However, if you actually digest the revenue that's being generated by PlayStation Now, it is doing pretty well, and if they add the ability to download PlayStation 3 games and just expand the service next generation, I think that service has a lot of potential, and the inclination that we've had is that the PlayStation 5 will have full backwards compatibility based on a patent. That's not confirmed yet, but if they file a patent, usually that's in the works, and I think Sony fully knows that Xbox is gonna have full backwards compatibility. We gotta follow in suit. I know it's a foregone conclusion that the PlayStation 5 will have backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 4. However, if we could get backwards compatibility with the entirety and legacy of PlayStation, including the PlayStation Vita and PSP, that would be awesome, and that really opens the floodgates for PlayStation Now to be an even more compelling service, and that would make digital revenue even higher. So so just take that into account. I don't think Sony is going to be slowing down anytime soon, and year-over-year gains have been looking tremendous for PlayStation Network as a platform as well, and I expect that to continue into 2019-2020, where they continue to release more services, make more compelling services. Let's just hope a way to increase the revenue isn't an increase on the PlayStation Plus price. That would be a little bit disappointing, but I don't completely rule that out in all honesty. So pretty ridiculous statistic there. Again, PlayStation Network alone has generated more revenue in 2018 than the entirety of Nintendo and Microsoft. Moving on from that, there's been a lot of talk around Anthem right now. A lot of you guys have been playing the free public demo. However, what if I told you that Anthem developers discussed a free-to-play model during early development phase? Well, Anthem's director and lead producer Jonathan Warner spoke to Edge magazine, quote, "If you go free-to-play, you still have to have a profitable business, or we can't continue to do an amazing live service for all our players. So what would you really be trading if you gave the game away for free? There's all that money you'd have to make to be profitable, and so then you get into a territory of being less player generous. I think in the AAA space, people are more comfortable paying the entry fee and then having a great player generous model with no paid DLC and optional vanity items that you can earn in-game currency to buy anyway." Now, even though this is a AAA $60 release, of course, there will be an option to buy cosmetic items. They do say those cosmetic items are earnable through in-game currency. However, you know, it's a $60 game, and then throwing in microtransactions as well, even though it's not directly impactful on gameplay, that is always going to be a little bit worrisome to me, because I saw what happened with Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Those were great games, but there were microtransactions that directly impacted gameplay, and even though cosmetic items are just available through microtransactions, what people always seem to forget with that statement is in the past, cosmetic items were just available through in-game progression. You would do XYZ in-game objective and you would get these cosmetic items, and it remains to be seen what these vanity items will be priced at. Are they difficult to get? Because in the past, you could just play the game and get all of these vanity items. That's just always something to note, but they did go against the free-to-play model. I think that was the best case scenario. If BioWare came out a couple years ago and they said their next major title was going to be a free-to-play game, I think that would have just inherently disappointed gamers, because we do want that big budget experience from BioWare, and we are okay dropping $59.99 for it as long as it is a compelling experience, and I think that's what they're trying to offer with Anthem. We'll see when the full game launches on February 22nd. Moving on from that, and speaking of BioWare, one of their old school RPGs was Jade Empire, and EA has actually filed a new trademark for the game. This trademark came back in January 22nd, and that doesn't really point towards a new Jade Empire game. Honestly speaking, of all the franchises BioWare could go back and dabble into, whether it be Dragon Age, which we know a new one is in the works, even Mass Effect. I know Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't great, but if BioWare announced a new Mass Effect title and they went back to the drawing board with it, I do think gamers would have some inherent excitement for that game. If they announce a new Jade Empire, I just don't know if that game would be received all too well. What I would like to see is how about a Jade Empire remaster? See how the game resonates with gamers today, because it is a little bit old school. A lot of gamers don't know about it, and if you price it accordingly, $14.99 or $19.99, God forbid, like a $49.99 price point for it, but I do think at a palatable price point, a Jade Empire remaster could resonate with gamers. That's what I would like to see, and if that does well then open the floodgates for a new Jade Empire title. I think that's the best route to go, but that's speculation on my part. What we do know is EA has filed a new trademark for it. And lastly, speaking of RPGs, one that I am very excited for and looks to be Obsidian's last game on the PlayStation 4 is The Outer Worlds. And speaking with RPG Site on behalf of Obsidian Entertainment, senior narrative designer Catherine Megan spoke a little bit about the game and said that the game will feature no essential NPCs whatsoever. Quote, "As a designer, I'm always tempted to just have it made so that you can't kill this person or that person, but we have the philosophy where we feel like it makes for a better gameplay experience to allow the player to do these sorts of things. You can even kill the scientists if you want." It looks like The Outer Worlds is going to be a game that really puts the power in the player's hands, and that's what I'd like to see out of RPGs, and I think the timing for this game couldn't have been even better. After everything that happened with Fallout 76 and the negativity surrounding Bethesda, this game for a lot of gamers looks to be a replacement. Did Obsidian plan for that? Probably not, but hey, the timing worked out, and I'm sure Obsidian isn't unhappy about that, and The Outer World does look to be dropping sometime in 2019, and I think this is going to be one of the major RPG releases of this year. Unfortunately, again, does look to be the last Obsidian title released on the PlayStation 4, as they are about to be acquired by Microsoft. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, the PlayStation Network revenue alone is obliterating Nintendo and Xbox. BioWare did discuss a free-to-play model for Anthem during early development. They ended up going with a AAA route, and I do think that was the best decision. EA has filed a trademark for Jade Empire back on January 22nd. Hopefully that points to a remaster, because I think that is the best case scenario. And The Outer Worlds is an exciting RPG by Obsidian, and they're gonna let you kill any NPC that you want. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.